This article will discuss the pros and cons on having those super long content scrolling websites. There are pros and cons of having this format, but we've been exploring them for the last couple of years, and we've noticed something interesting. First off, accessibility. Accessibility is critical on mobile devices. So what we've known and realized that the user actually likes these long websites. And they might like them for a lot of different reasons. But actually, compared to the other ones, and after done like hundreds of A/B testing, we know that actually they're very, very effective when capturing a lead. Is it always? No. Sometimes we have some landing pages who are really straight to the point that work a lot better than these ones. So how do we know? We don't. We test and test and test, look at the numbers, and based on the numbers we decide. Second, in terms of mobile optimization, these long articles are actually very, very useful for the user, because they have highly optimized content for mobile screens, which enhance the entire user experience. That's very important, and that's something that we need to account for more and more, especially today that Google is looking into all of the usability, incorporating Gemini in all of this, in the way that they're looking into the different websites and the experience of the user. We are now in the era of personalization, so injecting content that it's personal, it's much easier when you have longer content than when you're just talking about one or two bullet points. Third is the ability for these long contents to create an immersive experience. As you drill down the content, you'll be able to tell a story, you'll be able to build a narrative, and you'll be able to communicate everything you have to say in a much, much more efficient way. So consider that. Okay, there are some cons, right, on this. Yes, there are some cons. The first one is the potential overwhelm of content. You've noticed that some of these websites, they just produce content and content and content, and they as you drill down, you're actually not seeing anything, you're not going through a narrative, you don't have a story. So those are the wrong kind of long articles, the wrong kind of long content. When we're looking into this specific content, it should be relevant in the different stages of the way. Something we do that is very functional is to mimic the entire funnel on one single landing page. So at the top of the landing page, you will place awareness messages. In the middle, you will get some consideration messages. And in the end, you might put some action, making sure that all of that experience is materialized into a lead, a sale, an acquisition of any kind, or something that can be tracked in the future. Very important. And finally, SEO. As we know, long content is actually better for SEO, and we've known that from the past 4 or 5 years that Google values a lot deep and interesting content. So this is one of the things why long articles and long content pages might help. The problem is if you are putting a lot of images, a lot of videos, that might slow down the process, especially on mobile. If you're able to build a perfect balance between these two, you're onto something here. So if you have any doubts, we can always jump into a call, look into your particular project, and see what makes sense. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'll be here to reply.